how Deadpool is Ryan Reynolds and Ryan Reynolds is Deadpool. When I see
Mhm.
old stuff of him doing that, I'm like, all right, so he's just been practicing this the whole freaking time. He's been brainwashing us as a society. Welcome back to Trees in Space, the show where we boldly go where no reviewer has gone before. Through every movie genre, fueled by the fan opinions, questionable nostalgia, and our own hot takes. This week, Jason and I watched the 2004 rated R uh, comedy action movie Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle. I'm Nate, and that's Jason, and thank you for tuning in. Jason, how are you?
I'm good today. This is a very interesting pick. I watched this movie. I think not right when it came out, but a year later, a year after that. I think I've seen it once, maybe twice since then. But mostly in the background, never sat down to watch it. I thought it was very interesting that you
Yeah,
chose this movie.
yeah, I think maybe I saw this movie within a year or so of it coming out. Um, Maybe saw it on TV on like Comedy Central or something.
Hmm.
Um, but this is the first time that I've actually really watched this movie. And I guess before we get into this movie, why don't I go ahead and tell you all at home what this movie is about?
What's it about?
Well, it's about Harold Lee and Kumar Patel are two stoners who end up getting in the munchies. What they crave the most after seeing the TV advertisement is a trip to White Castle. So from here follows a journey from for the burgers they require. On their way, they will encounter many obstacles, including a raccoon, racist officer, and a horny Neil Patrick Harris.
Uh, yeah, Neil Patrick Harris stole the show. He was only probably on screen for a matter of maybe 90 seconds, maybe 2 minutes.
I don't think really like look, I love Neil Patrick Harris as Barney Stinson in How I Met Your
Hmm.
Mother. But like in this movie, it was just like he's outside of a sunroof with two topless chicks and he's grabbing their boobs. Like, okay, like how is that a significant cameo? When he's in the car and he's seemingly very much on drugs, which is well
Yes.
acted if he wasn't really on drugs. But really, I don't think it was like a hey, well done, Neil Patrick Harris. You acted wonderfully.
Well, you did this 21 years after it came out. You're talking about it. At the time, it was superbly done. And I still want to know who's driving that car. And I
Yeah.
don't think he was actually sniffing anything. And I want to know how they were standing straight up and he was grabbing her boobs. And the next thing you see, she's bent over. And the next thing you see, she's back up getting her boobs grabbed. They messed it up. No one else they messed up? When the raccoon bit Kumar, I mean Harold, blood squirted everywhere. And then they went back to that thing. There's no blood on him. And they went back to it. There's blood on him. And I noticed that because that's what you notice.
It's open! Fuck you, raccoon!
I totally overlooked it all them.
Yeah.
I
So,
got
so,
distracted. There were so many boobs in this movie. Distracted by
and then
the
the,
boobs, and then uh the two American Pie kids were in it, and I
that was good to
forgot that
see.
those actors, that small troupe of actors, had a really big run in the early aughts, and I was like, oh my God,
They
I forgot all about them.
they did these little comedy, these I mean like this show, this movie, I don't know if they could do what they do now today with this. The Diarrhea Twins, I thought that was pretty disgusting.
Oh my God, battle shits.
Hey, Clarissa, do you want to play battle shits?
We haven't played that since back at camp.
I know, wait for it.
It.
You sank my destroyer.
Battleships. That
What
uh,
about Bobby Lee?
oh, but was that Bobby Lee?
That was Bobby Lee. asking him all those questions.
Yes.
Kenneth Park, class of 2004. Hi.
Hi.
Is it true you're an analyst for Brewster Keegan?
And the one who's like, "Hey, I will tell you for some boobies and show me your boobies."
And yeah, he's
That's
what
Bobby Lee.
that was Bobby
Yes.
Lee.
Wow, he looks so. I knew he looked so familiar. That's not Bobby Lee. I don't believe it.
Yep. I
No, he
saw it, I
must
was
be.
like, oh my God, Bobby Lee's in this movie.
Then he must be. He must be the son or the nephew of the guy that played the Chinese guy or the Japanese guy in the Revenge of the Nerds movie because they look the same.
Uh,
And
oh,
I'm not trying to be, racist, but they look awfully a lot alike. I knew it could be the same guy because it was 20 years later. Yeah, okay. Have you ever? w- You've had roommates, I'm guessing, at some point. Would you
I
be
have had
cutting your pu pubes with their scissors and then turn around and showing, hey, how cool is that?
you know, it depends on that kind of relationship.
Mhm.
Like, not gonna lie, if it was you and I as roommates, there's a good chance that could have happened. I mean, I feel like we'd be openly as comfortable. Now, some of the roommates I had
Probably.
when I lived overseas, no, probably not, because I would have
Hmm.
got my ass kicked. So it
Right.
just depends on who you got.
Yep. And the other big cameo, Ryan Reynolds, I totally forgot he was in this thing.
Right?
And of course, he wasn't Ryan Reynolds then, but he was still well known, I think, from that TV show.
You know, it still seemed very like Deadpool kind of like perverse humor. And
Hmm.
I think now because of how Deadpool is Ryan Reynolds and Ryan Reynolds is Deadpool, when I see old stuff of him doing that, I'm like, all right, so he's just been practicing this the whole freaking time. He's been brainwashing us as a society that he is the perfect person for Deadpool because he's just been doing Deadpool for the last 20 something years.
Well, you've seen Van Wilder, right?
Yeah.
Yep,
But
that's him. Yep.
what's crazy is Van Wilder is the movie of Burt Kreischer. So,
Yeah, the story that he says is true with no facts to back it. But
yeah, I mean, they bought the story. So the
yes,
movie studio made the movie about him. He didn't actually make
yeah,
the movie. So
that's true. 7 years in college, I believe. Yeah, okay. Even though they did not do the Russian thing in the movie Van Wilder, but we're not talking about Van Wilder. We're talking about Harold and Kumar goes to White
uh,
Castle.
the Asian party was pretty fun.
It
Actually,
was.
the when they get with the tow truck driver.
Oh yes, Mylan. Mylan is the actress' name who played the wife.
Oh my God, so cute. I the whole time I was like, oh, come on, like the dirty guy in me was like, come on, that shirt can come off. And I was like, oh my God, she shows him. And I was like, I was so like caught off guard. I didn't think it was gonna really happen, and then it happened. And then oh boy, her husband comes walking in and like gives them like, how dare you? And then she's like, you totally said we could. And he's like, I did? Oh yeah, I did. And then he takes his
Uh,
jumpsuit off and he's just wearing a friggin' sexy pair of underwear. I was like, this is a turn that I totally forgot about.
exactly. And he was hideous. I don't know what kind of growths he had on his head and his neck and what that was from. He never said. If he did, I didn't
No.
hear it.
But
But
when they were whispering in the truck and then he's like, I can hear everything you said. It just got
yeah.
awkward. It's like, oh shit.
I heard everything you said. It is pretty. They do have some pretty funny moments like that, and I don't think I'm gonna mess with that girl at all because that girl was sleeping with that guy, and that guy looked like that. So I don't know what the hell she had on her. That was just oh, yeah. Go
What did
ahead.
you think of the pre-med interview? in the
I
beginning of
was about to talk about that, how it started because Harold had to do his boss's work on the weekend. He didn't want to do it. Kumar was told, "Hey, I'm not going to be there to party with you." And he goes, "You better." And he was on an interview with Harvard or someplace, and he's just like, "I got the best kind of freaking weed to smoke, and you're going to get high with me tonight, right in front of the interviewer guy." And the interviewer guy, played by Fred Willard, by the way,
hmm
um, is like, "You don't expect me to, let you come in after what you just done, the way you acted." And he's like, "I don't want to do this anyhow."
He's like, no, absolutely not. I don't want to do this anyway.
Yeah. And he looks so young. He does not. I mean, he's so young.
What's crazy is the actor that played Kumar within the last like 3 years came out as being gay, and watching the movie, knowing that now that he was gay then, and then the fact that Neil Patrick Harris is also a gay man acting as a straight man in this movie, I was like, oh my God, I wonder if they bonded at all, like being closeted homosexuals, like if they actually had a chance to talk or not, or like if they, like I started kind of getting into that a little bit, which is kind of weird during a comedic movie, but they did
Well, I
really
don't
well.
think I don't think Kal Penn was gay in 2004. I think it became gay later on. I think he's one of those gays. I
Can
think
you,
Neil
is
Patrick
that,
Harris,
wait, is that a
yes,
thing?
yes, but I think Neil Patrick Harris was always gay. I think that was always been because I think he's been saying it since day one. But I could be wrong. I don't know. I don't know Kal Penn. I could be wrong, but and with his upbringing, he might not have been brave enough to come out of the closet for sure. But it's very interesting how gay men portray misogynistic, sexist men better than anybody.
Yeah. What'd you think of the white extreme guys with their Bronco and
They
extreme
were so
playlist?
stupid. They were I like that part because I mean, and that's the one thing we miss nowadays with the streaming and everything. To have a tape you can listen to, a tape in 2004 was weird to me, but
Well,
um
it was like an 86 Bronco.
right, but some music will come on that you didn't pick, and you're, oh, I love this song, and no one's heard it in forever because you don't just go pick your songs. I miss that. I miss that kind of thing. Going on a road trip and the song pops up, and I'll just sing that song loud too because those are great songs. And I like the extreme. That's so extreme. It's so extreme just because it makes them flinch.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is extreme. What the?
Their extreme urban kayaking.
Yes. What the?
And just throws it in the freaking grocery store. Like, what the?
I didn't like them, and I didn't. I mean, they had to fill something up to make it hard to get to White Castle. I did like the when they first went to the Burger Shack that used to be the White Castle, with what's his name, Anderson. The actor's last name is Anderson. He goes, "When I think about that patty, make me want to burn this motherfucker down." And then he starts to go. All it is just these two with hardly any funny lines running into about 15 or 20 different kind of crazy characters, and that's all it is. It's basically a Saturday Night Live skit back to back to back to back.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, dude, where's my car? You're on.
Did that come out after this? Because that was said in this movie. Dude, where's my car?
Yeah, Lord of the Rings, it's from point A to point B, and you're trying to get from your house to White Castle. You're trying to get from the Shire to the fiery pits of whatever. Like,
And
it's
what can be in your
straightforward.
way?
And then you just
Yeah, what's
put
gonna be?
little obstacles in the way, just so that way it can build out the hour and 45 minutes that the movie would be, and then you're there.
I want to know where they were driving from, where they were driving. Cherry Hill, I got that. But there was all that stuff in between the man in the truck, in the woods, the cheetah, which I understand came from the zoo, the hang gliding, they're on the cliff. It's 45 minutes away. I don't think there's that much, different kind of landscaping there.
I'm pretty sure there is no cliffs in New Jersey. I lived there. I've been to Cherry Hill. There's no cliff that overhangs a White Castle in this big open pasture. That's not a thing. Cherry Hill is very urbanized. There's a lot of shopping areas and apartments and such.
Hmm.
So
Yeah,
that was very not accurate.
and of course there was the love interest, which was a very small part.
Oh, Maria,
Um, yeah, gorgeous
she's
woman, but
pretty.
I mean, uh, it was just, I don't know, in the very end, they say, hey, let's go to Amsterdam. Then, they made a part two.
Did they make it a part two? I thought they made a part two.
They escaped from Guantanamo.
That's it. Yes, Harold and
And
Kumar
I'm like, why
stowed
not
away.
just do Amsterdam? They already set up for Amsterdam.
I
I've
think
not
I've
seen part
seen
two,
the
so.
second one, and I think they are leaving. Like they get in trouble while going to Amsterdam, or like trying to get to Amsterdam.
Oh, okay. Well, that's fair. That's fair.
um,
It's to me, it's like an earnest movie, but with two people.
yeah, yeah.
That's
I
what I
mean,
take it as.
it's a silly comedy. Nothing to take
With
serious.
a lot of
But
boobs.
well, let's go ahead and get into the 5-star and 1-star or less reviews. The first 5-star review comes from Ricky C. Seen it 50 times and hasn't gotten old yet.
I'm happy for you, Ricky Steve. That's wonderful. Okay, I believe you. The first 1-star review comes from Dino's K. Dumb and Dumber with Diversity.
I was just quick thought. I was trying to think of which one I thought is a better movie, and I kind of think they're both the same.
I kind of agree with you.
Hmm.
I wonder what I rated Dumb and Dumber at, though.
I don't remember. We did it once.
We did well. This one has the advantage of having boobs.
Yeah, it's fair. Okay. The next 5-star review comes from Unknown. Lowbrow fun with redeemable elements like notable Asian representation and a hilarious Wayne's World-esque spin on the product placement. Really funny, 8.5 out of 10.
Oh, what placement? The drug?
Advertisement, so like the
Oh,
Doritos, like Doritos
okay.
Extreme. Like,
Yeah, I guess that's probably true. And the Mountain Dews.
yeah.
Yeah. And White Castle itself.
Yeah.
And I've never, and I you know what? I've never really been high, but I've had cravings where I've gone distances to get what I wanted. So I understood that part. So imagine if I was stoned and I would have the munchies, I would do something similar, I'm sure.
Yeah. I wanted some White Castle after watching this movie.
I want some crystals. It's right down the road. The next 1-star review comes from BKOD 8787. One of the most lame movies ever. I was so bored by this movie that I was compelled to write the first review of my life.
Oh man. I'm sorry that you wasted 88 minutes of your life, good sir or madam. Uh,
Yeah, I don't know.
the last 5-star review comes from CBC Guy. Perfect stoner comedy, but you don't need to be high to find this movie hilarious.
That's true. I wasn't high. I thought it was funny. I mean, there's parts that were funny. I do like the part where Noel Patrick Harris, like when he at the very end goes, "Do you know what a pain in the ass it was for us to come over here without the car?" And he said, "Yeah, it was a dick move." I was like, that was pretty funny because he did that so well.
Yeah.
The last 1-star review comes from Unknown, most popular reviewer we have. Yet another lowbrow attempt at trashy humor made only to entertain 15-year-old boys.
Or 18-year-old boys, whatever.
And considering them they are the ones that go to more movies than any other demographic, that's who you want to cater to.
Yeah, I guess that's very fair. But I guess kids don't really go to that. Does anybody really go to the movies anymore?
I don't know, Barbarella, whatever that John Wick movie just came out and it didn't do that well because everybody's waiting to stream it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this is going to be the first time ever, but I have something special in the WTF. The first WTF comes from an unknown. 4.5 stars, May 19th, 2019. Great, fantastic, hilarious movie starring two amazing, funny actors that I forgot their names. Man, I had a blast with this movie. I laughed so many times during this, and I just out of nowhere bought this movie based only off the cover and the title that they got that they were going to White Castle. After watching this movie, I want to go to White Castle. I can't wait to see this movie again in the future. Now, I say this as a special because on August 30th, 2020, unknown half a star, great, fantastic, hilarious movie starring two amazing, funny actors that I forgot their names. Man, I had a blast with this movie. I laughed so many times during this, and I just out of nowhere bought this movie based off the cover and the title that they were going to White Castle. After watching this, I want to go to White Castle. I can't wait to see this movie again in the future.
So this person gave it 4.5 stars in like 2008,
19.
19,
Yeah,
and then a year later,
not even.
comes back and puts half a star and says the exact same thing.
Yeah.
What the? An honest WTF. That's one of the better ones we've ever had.
Yeah, I saw it and I was like, because I I picked the first one from 2020, and I was like, wait, I already read this. Well, you heard us talk about the movie. We heard you all at home and your reviews. Now let's go ahead and find out what Rotten Tomatoes and the audience scored this movie. The critics scored this movie at 74%, while the audience, that's you at home, you all scored this movie at 80%.
Holy smoking Joe! I'm surprised I found any 1-star reviews with the reviews that high.
There was a lot. And I can't believe the critics scored this at 74. This
Yeah, that's.
comedy got a 74% by the critics.
You think maybe because the two lead actors were minorities? Because if you have the same exact group of people, but they're two white people doing something like Dumb and Dumber, exact same comedy, it doesn't
Dude, where's my
roll as
car?
well. Yeah, does that got that kind of a high thing? Probably not.
No.
So maybe they're like, hey, about time about time minorities get to be in the front, being like everyone else.
I mean,
They're all like,
they did the movie fantastic. I thought it was
yes,
wonderfully done, and
yeah.
yeah, but anyway. Well, now it's time for Jason and I to go ahead and rate this movie. I will kick us off. First off, I will not recommend this movie to my surgeon. Not saying this movie is a bad movie. I just don't know if this movie is the taste for everybody, and I'd rather not recommend this because I don't want them to think negatively of me. I thought that the two main leads, Harold and Kumar, acted this brilliantly. I thought they were really well partnered up. Their chemistry on screen was very fitting, like they were good friends. Um, didn't talk about the jail scene where there was a black guy that got there just because he was black. This is the reason why he was in jail. There was a lot of that little tiny like humor, jokes, and stereotypical things. Um, there is a lot of frontal nudity, so that gets a bump. My rating of this movie is 2 trees.
Now it's my turn.
I would not recommend it to my surgeon either, for the same reason. I thought Cal Penn, and I do not remember the Harold Lee, the actor's name that plays Harold Lee. I think you're right. I think they fed off each other pretty well. There's like the crazy, silly one and the straight one. Like most good comedies, action comedies, cop buddy comedies worked pretty well. You saw what was happening before it happened. Nothing to write home about, but it felt it didn't feel too long. I thought Neil Patrick Harris was great. I thought the different people that came in, I thought everybody acted just fine. Said about the gentleman in the jail cell. Why is there always a gentleman in the jail cell that has like pearls of wisdom to tell you while they're reading a book in these type of movies?
I got
But it's like they always seem to do it. I think they just took a buddy cop or a buddy druggy movie and just changed it a little bit and redid this. Um, there are boobs and lots of them. And I don't think any of them were fake, except for maybe the ones Neil Patrick Harris was grabbing.
Mm.
So that does give it a bump. And it's good background fodder. And for that case, I'm going to, with the bump, I'm going to agree with Nate and give it 2 trees.
Ho ho, do. That's right, 2 trees each. Let us know what you all thought about this movie. Tap in there in the comments. Tell us what you liked about it, what you disliked about it, and hey, why don't you tell us what you thought about the movie? If you drop a comment, we'll go ahead and we'll read it on the air, or on the next episode. Until then, please subscribe, share, follow, all those 2 little things. Turn on your notifications. We'll see you next time here on Trees in Space, Monday, 7 a.m. Eastern, here on YouTube. Take care, everybody.